Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom to you brothers that are laboring and pushing this word in truth and sincerity and with charity. I'm the brother Abraham from the camp here in GMS Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson. Alright, Lord willing, to be edifying. And this video is on a few things. So the elder Malcolm from our camp here in Chicago mentioned this a while ago, a few weeks back, about this Paul Burr song, right, which is supposed to be the man behind the Black Panther Party, right? Which I know you brothers have seen it. The video that went viral of him saying this and that about the ICE, because we see ICE pretty much terrorizing communities and cities all over America. And this guy who says he represents the Black Panther Party, alright, that they're there to defend the people, okay, but more than likely is a plant, more than likely is a persona, okay, an active personality, right, to cause division, right, to cause discord. And this is what Esau wants. He wants the chaos. He wants the division. Alright. The talks of civil war brewing, right? This is all to escalate those things. And what I have here is a video. I don't know who this guy is, but the channel is at l.k.the.leprechaun. It's entitled, "Who is Paul Burr's Song Really? The Many Identities Behind the Viral Activist." Right? So to summarize the video, it discusses the multiple public identities of Paul Burr's song, a man who recently gained viral attention for his confrontations with ICE and his claims of leadership within a Black Panther Party chapter in Philadelphia. The video highlights Birdsong's various public roles over the past decade. Revolutionary activist and Black Panther chairman. Currently, Birdsong presents himself as a militant revolutionary using anti-ICE and anti-police messaging rooted in Black liberation language.
In recent protests and interviews, he speaks with militant rhetoric, anti-ICE and anti-police messaging, and revolutionary framed rooted in Black liberation language.
So this guy just came out the woodwork, out of nowhere, in the midst of all this ICE stuff going on. Nobody's ever heard of him, really. And then just out of a sudden, it goes viral for what he was saying. Alright, he was also a preacher and conscious rapper. In earlier footage, he appeared as a pastor delivering motivational sermons and performing conscious revolutionary themed music, blending activism, religion, and hip-hop.
Be seen preaching like a pastor, wearing Malcolm X style bow ties, delivering motivational or revolutionary themed sermons, and also rapping conscious revolutionary themed music. This era portrayed him as a spiritual revolutionary, blending activism, religion, and hip-hop. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but it's important because it establishes a pattern of adopting powerful identities tied to leadership, authority, and movement building.
All right. Claim street affiliation. Birdsong publicly claimed affiliation with the Piru Bloods, but these claims were widely rejected by individuals within that culture who alleged she was lying about his background. All right, here's a social media post.
Multiple individuals claiming blood affiliation themselves publicly rejected Birdsong's claims. They alleged that he was lying about his background, he misrepresented his upbringing, he fabricated stories about his father, and that his behavior was erratic and weird.
Okay, it says unverified criminal background claims. Birdsong admits to being in prison, but no official proof is available. Online researchers have pointed to public records indicating a sex offense related charge, which raises concerns about transparency given his role as a moral authority and community leader. Okay. The video suggests that Birdsong exhibits a pattern of adopting powerful identities that command attention and place him at the center of movements, with each identity eventually collapsing or being abandoned. Right? So, what's this new movement about, right? So this whole civil war and division um, is brewing over an ideology, not so much a territorial civil war, but over an ideology, right? So all this is really, you could tell this was all part of the plan because when Biden was in office, he let all these people in, right? So he was the fall guy for why they need to do what they're doing now, right? They keep saying this would never have happened if Biden didn't let these illegals in, right? But they're not going after the illegals that they let in. They're going after everybody. Whoever looks brown, whoever looks dark skinned, and they're killing their own kind. The two people that got shot and died, well, guess what? They was Edomites. All right. Um, so now you have divisions between these two different opinions. All right. So, and then after Biden's presidency, he got promoted in his masonry. I forgot what level he got to, but he got promoted to the next level, a high level of Freemasonry, like if he did his job. And now you have Trump in here with they say the solution, right? Um, all right, we need ICE to do this and that, and they get all the funding they need. The millions and millions of dollars goes to them for whatever they need, and they're hiring anybody and everybody with no training. All right, to go and pretty much terrorize people in mass. All right. So let's go ahead and continue reading this. It says the video presents two interpretations of Paul Birdsong's behavior. Agent of chaos, provocateur. Some believe he intentionally stirs controversy and destabilizes movements for attention, with some even speculating about informant behavior, though there is no proof. Alright, so obviously there's not going to be any proof. Identity crisis. Others suggest he is searching for belonging and reinvent himself repeatedly in an attempt to find purpose, recognition, or meaning, viewing him as lost rather than malicious. Alright, the creator of the video states that he knows Paul Birdsong personally and is setting up interviews with people who have known him for years, including former gang associate, a former girlfriend, and his cousin, to shed more light on the real Paul Birdsong. So We all know the Black Panther Party, right? A movement um, to stand up for obviously black people, right? Um, and now they're coming, according to him, right, in defense of the people that are being targeted by ICE. So, first, a couple scriptures come to mind. Let me get this first here in Acts 5. And all right, this is where a couple of the apostles got arrested for preaching in the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, who at that time, right, didn't want uh to be preached, right, which we're coming into those times again. All right, so let me start at verse 33, Acts 5 and 33. It says, when they heard that, they were cut to the heart and took counsel to slay them. Then stood there one in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, had in reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space. And said unto them, ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men, right? Because they wanted to kill them. It says, for before these days rose up Thaddeus, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, and all, as many as obeyed him, were scattered and brought to naught. So Thaddeus, thought he was somebody, boasted himself to be this and that, and people followed him. But what happened to him? It was brought to naught. After this guy, right, after this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. So Judas and his men came to naught. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it, lest happily ye be found even to fight against God. So this whole the Black Panther Party itself that's of men. That's a work that's of men. And this Paul Birdsong is somebody who has it says a few, just like Thaddeus, boasting himself to be somebody. And guess what? Some people might follow him, will follow him, right? But guess what? It's gonna come to naught. Why? Because it is a work and counsel of men. It is not of the Most High. It is not of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. This work that we're doing, okay, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, preaching the gospel, all right, bringing out the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, breaking down the prophecies of the scriptures, the mysteries. This is of the Most High, okay, and as you can see, it's clearly not dying off. It's only getting stronger. All right, look at the fruits that have become of this word since it came out over 50 years ago, right? About 1969, right? Is a good time. It's a good time around this word coming out. Now we're in the year of 2026, and this word is still coming out on fire. It flooded the whole earth. This word has flooded the entire earth. Okay, so now from there, let's go to Matthew 24. And let me start at 3. It says, "And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many." Right? So that may come in many forms, and people may, people don't got, somebody might need to say that they're the Messiah, right? But false prophets, deceivers, okay? Because this man, everything about this man and how it came out seems like a hope, like he's just a plant, right? An agent provocateur, a cult of personality, okay? That, as I read in Acts 5, it will come to naught, okay? All right, let me jump down to verse 11. "And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many." Right? So there's going to be many that are deceived because there are many deceivers and false prophets out there. Okay? But hey, their job is to deceive those that were meant to be deceived. The elect will not be deceived. All right? But that's pretty much it. Just wanted to go into this guy real quick. Because you're gonna have stuff like this happening in the end of days. Just another sign. All right. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Until the next time, Shalom.